Hey guys, meet the Tier 1 Tactical Bipod. The Tier 1 Tactical is constructed entirely of T6 aluminum. It is available a couple of different ways. You can have aluminum sleeves on the legs, or you can have, as you see here, carbon fiber sleeves. It's available in either a 7 to 9 inch or a 9 to 11 inch configuration. That's 180 millimeters or 230 millimeters if you speak millimeter. The corresponding weights are 242 grams or 292 grams, and if you convert that to American, that's 8.5 ounces or 10.3 ounces. And those weights are with the carbon fiber legs. You can also get 50 millimeter leg extensions if you need those. One of the things that makes this system really versatile is there are multiple foot options available, including different spikes and claws and even skis. The ones you see here are just the standard that come with it. In addition to the feet, Tier 1 also has a lot of accessories available. They have locks and legs and Picatinny adapters, scope leveling wedges, even tools and hard cases. Just about every kind of solution that you would need for your rifle's mounting system on a bipod you can get from Tier 1. And full disclosure guys, Tier 1 sent this bipod to me for evaluation and testing. This tactical bipod has a retail price of $395, which definitely puts it in the category of high quality accessories. I used the Tier 1 on an AR-15 and it performed perfectly. Its easy mounting and lightweight make it easy to attach when needed and barely changes the balance of the rifle. The bipod stays sturdy even at full extension, something I've noticed can be a problem for some. Unlike the wobbliness that I have felt with some other bipods at full extension, I didn't notice any loss of support or control with this Tier 1 unit. I also mounted the Tier 1 on a much heavier Sig Sauer Model 556R that shoots the more jolting 7.62 by 39 round. And just as with the 223 round from the AR-15, the feet held their spot on the shooting bench, and the legs of the bipod absorbed the recoil well and kept my scope on target between shots. The quality of this bipod is apparent the moment you pick it up and look at it. It's not an inexpensive piece of gear, so you're probably asking, what do I get for my money? Well, from what I've seen from my evaluation and testing is that you get top quality materials, well constructed, an excellent design, simplistic operation, and a great lifetime guarantee. It also doesn't hurt that it's very easy on the eyes. I've been contemplating who I think this beautiful carbon fiber bipod is really for. If you follow my antics, you know that I'm not really an experienced rifle guy. But when I do take long guns to the range, I am very picky about how everything works. I think I have less patience with rifles or related gear that doesn't function properly than I do for handguns and their related gear. That's probably due to my lack of experience and confidence with them. But that didn't happen for a moment with the Tier 1, not so much because it does amazing tricks that the others don't, or because suddenly someone invented a two-leg support system that's revolutionary. Nope. It's just because it's instantly simple to understand and use, and it does exactly what you expect it to do. And on top of all that, it looks awesome with its finely milled aluminum parts and carbon fiber sleeves. But then you know I'm a bit partial to carbon fiber. I did have one problem with the Tier 1, which turned out to be my ignorance at work. But since it was the only element of the product that, for me at least, wasn't completely intuitive, let me share. The problem that I was having was that this tension lever controlled Picatinny connection wasn't always fitting the rail I was trying to put it on. It was a little bit too loose. It needed to be tightened more. And even though I could see the tightening nut right here, as you can, it's recessed just about flush with the housing. And I was having a hard time trying to understand how am I supposed to adjust that. So I reached out to Tier 1 and they responded quickly and didn't even call me names, which they could have done. It turns out it's really pretty simple, as you might expect. You put the lever in this position, which is the unlatched or relaxed position, the open position if you will, and then you push it in. Just push in on the end of the lever, as I'm doing here, and you can see that I'm doing it with one finger. It's not that tough, and you can probably also see that screw then will come out. So that screw will now protrude, and it will allow you to turn it in or out as you may need to adjust the tension. And then once you release the pressure, it goes back to being flush, and it stays exactly where you put it. Turns out it's really a pretty good and simple design. I was just too dumb to figure it out. Once you've done that and you've gotten it adjusted, you won't likely need to do it again for a very long time, if ever, especially if you're using mil-spec gear. And based on how quickly they helped me out and answered my question, I think we can probably add great customer service to the list of what we get for our money. So back to my derailed thought about who I think is the ideal customer. Probably not the guy or the lady who's going to shoot the rifle only occasionally or go out and do a little bit of plinking with it. This equipment, I think, is made for the more serious shooter. Whether you're a hunter or some sort of an operator, maybe you're a competition shooter that needs something that's reliable, simple to operate, and very lightweight. Or, let's be honest, you might just be the person who likes to put the best accessories on their rifle and maybe wants to make a fashion statement at the range. There's nothing wrong with that either. Tier 1 tactical bipod also comes in this very awesome case. You can see, if I turn it sideways here a little bit, you can see their name and logo sort of embossed into it. Again, it's a nice case, molded, custom fit for your bipod, and has lots of pockets for accessories like spare feet and leg extensions. Mounting and unmounting the bipod couldn't be simpler. You just use this tension lever, which does have a lock on it so that it can't accidentally be released even if you were to bump that lever. Pull back on that lock, flip out the tension lever, and that's it. Mounting is simply a quick reverse of that process. So I've used this Tier 1 tactical bipod over the course of several range trips with several different rifles, and it has met all my needs and it works very well. I really like the quick disconnect. I like that a lot, as opposed to having to fish through my range bag for the right Allen wrench or some other tool to attach or detach the bipod. The bipod also has a decent amount of swivel to it. You can see as I turn the head this way and turn the head that way. I don't know how many degrees that is. I'm going to guess it's probably about 15 or so degrees in either direction. And the head also is capable of cant back and forth. And this actually brings me to probably the only thing that I really didn't like using this particular bipod, is that this tension screw comes loose almost constantly. So if you're not always reaching down and retightening that, the cant becomes so loose and wobbly that your rifle is just going to want to fall to one side or the other. Sometimes with enough force that it could knock the whole thing over. So that was the one thing that I didn't really care for. I wish there were a little better mechanism for tightening that and having it stay tight. Other than that, I really have no complaints. If you're after just a sort of a minimalistic look, or if you're after a really cool look, it kind of fits both, and I like that. That's a tough balance to strike, but they've really pulled that off. It is very simple and elegant, and yet very rugged and very efficient. So for its high quality materials and very, very precise construction and workmanship, and for its simplistic ease of operation, and yes, also for its aesthetic qualities, I definitely give the Tier 1 tactical bipod a thumbs up. It is not cheap, but if you are in the market for a bipod in this price range, I recommend it.